People often ask me, why are we destroying the earth? Why are we not saving the planet? It's really obvious what needs to be done. What on earth is holding us back? And I think that for most activists and most scholars and policymakers, the first thought was, well, people just don't have the information that they need for this decision. So the solution is to fill the information deficit, and that, of course, is what people have been trying to do with awareness-raising campaigns for the last 50 years. And in fact, there is a scientific basis for that. That's important, but it's not going to work once we get to this stage of the process, which is political. And so I think at this stage, many activists and even some scholars have moved to what I'm calling the moron argument. Why are we not saving the earth? Because politicians are selfish, corrupt, and ignorant. Or, if you're a politician, the public is selfish, corrupt, and ignorant. Or, if you're in a bureaucracy, you could be saying corporations are selfish, corrupt, and ignorant. Or, if you're in a corporation, you would certainly say bureaucrats, selfish, corrupt, and ignorant. But none of those explain why we're not acting, because people have always been selfish, corrupt, and ignorant, and those are long-standing problems in human society, and yet we're on a trajectory of change. So what is the problem? What's the solution? From a social psych perspective, the problem is the people that don't want to act trust different people than you and I do. So the reason why we are all listening to David Attenborough and other scientists who are telling us that climate change is happening is because we trust them, and we're part of social networks. We have groups and identities that connect us with scientists as responsible experts who are even likable and who can tell us what needs to happen. For the rest of the community that hasn't been reached by this message, they are listening to different authorities, they're in different networks, and they're in different groups. So at this point, we have a trust deficit, and we need to engage that trust deficit by becoming relationally and individually more trusted, more trustworthy. So the takeaway points from this message are, we can't rely on the information deficit approach. That's not the problem anymore. We can't rely on labeling our opponents as selfish, corrupt, and moronic. That's not the problem if it ever was. Rather, we need to look at the trust deficit, and we need to look at building trust. And that's what we're going to go to in our next video.